Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow changemaker. It's a truly blessing to stand before you today. My name is Bintang, and as the leader of this foundation, I am honored to share a perspective that I believe can transform how we view our life and our potential. So, when all of you heard the word privilege, what immediately springs to your mind? Is it the image of inherited wealth, exclusive social circles, or powerful connections? Perhaps it is seemingly effortlessly path some people appear to glide along, while others struggle with every step. For many of us, privilege feels like a lottery win, something you're either born with or you're not. It is the golden ticket, an honor advantage that sets a select few apart and leaving the rest to simply watch from the sideline. But what if I told you that this widely accepted definition only tell us half of the story? What if the privilege is not merely about what you have, but about what you do? What if it's not about being lucky, but about being laborious? Today, I want to invite you on a journey with me, shifting our focus from this empowering question of why don't I have a privilege to empowering realization of how can I create my own privilege. So for a long time, I, like many of you, held the conventional view. I truly believed that privilege was a birthright. And when life threw it curveballs my way, and believe me, it threw plenty these past year, I found myself asking those familiar self-pitying questions. So I experienced failure not just once, but repeatedly. There was a project that collapsed, proposal that unequivocally rejected, a moment where I felt utterly stuck, hitting all wall that seemed insurmountable, and each setback felt like a personal affront, a sign that perhaps I wasn't destined for success, that I simply lacked the elusive privilege the others seemed to possess so effortlessly. I remember to looking at peers, colleges, and even strangers on social media, whose, whose paths appeared so smooth, so paved with the golden opportunities, and thinking, why them? Why not me? Why do I have to fight for every inch while they seem to have everything handed on them? The stress mounts, the doubt multiply, and the question echo in my mind. Why do I deserve all this? But as the dust settled after each fall, something profound began to shift within me. I started to notice a pattern. Those very moments of struggles, those stinging rejections, those painful failure were not, in fact, stripping me to some imagined privilege. Quite the opposite. They were forgetting. Every single failure, rather than being an end, became a powerful starting point for learning. Its rejection, instead of closing a door, it pushed me to evaluate, to pivot, to find a more suitable and more impactful direction. The things I once labeled as the advantage, like the tight budget, the limited resources, the steep learning curves, these were the very elements that forced me to be innovative, to be resourceful, to be truly resilient. They were not being a roadblocks. They were the raw material from which my true capabilities were being built. And the crucible challenge, a fundamental truth became blindingly clear. Privilege is not just something you inherit, it is something that you cultivate. It's shaped by the deliberate choices we make, the resilient mindset we choose to adopt, and the sheer grit we summon when faced with adversity. It is not about the hand you're dealt at birth. It is profoundly, entirely about how you play the hand that you're given. Now, you might think, is it just a philosophical musing, a nice sentiment? But it's not just theory or optimistic thinking. It is a concept powerfully backed by decades of psychological research. So I want to highlight the groundbreaking work by Stanford psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck and her seminal research on mindsets. So actually, Dr. Dweck studies distinguish between two fundamental mindsets, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Individuals with a fixed mindset tend to believe their abilities, intelligence, and talents are inherent and unchangeable. So when they encounter a challenge or a failure, they often see it as a reflection of their intrinsic limitations. I'm not good at this, and they might think, so why bother? They will feel a failure because it exposes why they perceive as their inherent deficiencies. Conversely, people with a growth mindset understand that their abilities can be developed through dedications, hard work, and learning. They embrace the challenge not as threats, but as opportunities to expand their capabilities. So when they fail, they don't see it as an indictment of their worth, but as valuable feedback. So a change that uh, we make to adjust our strategy, learn new skill, and ultimately grow stronger. So Dr. Dweck research unequivocally demonstrated that individuals who cultivate a growth mindset consistently outperform those with a fixed mindset across the various domains. In academics, careers, their personal relationship, all in overall life satisfaction. They were more resilient, more innovative, and more persistent. So what does this tell us about privilege? It tells us that the most significant privilege is not a static gift. It's a dynamic ability to transform challenge into the stepping stone. It is the cognitive framework that allows you to extract value from adversity. It is the profound understanding that your capacity for success is not predetermined by circumstances, but is endlessly expandable through effort and learning. In a sense, it's not just about in what inherent talents you possess, but about your willingness to develop them, to stretch them, and to redefine what's possible. And this brings me to a bold, perhaps even provocative definition. Failure is a privilege, rejection is a privilege, struggle is a privilege, and why? Because general privilege is not about the absence of difficulty. It's about the presence of transformations. It's not about how smooth your paths unfold, but about the profound character forged when you navigate its sharpest turn. So consider some individuals are indeed born into a position of immense advantage. They are handed up opportunities on a silver plate, their paths seemingly cleared by wealth, status, or connections. And tragically, some take this gift for granted, allowing them to stagnate, to squander potential, or to crumble at the first sign of real friction. Then there are those who begin with seemingly nothing. They face systemic barrier, resource deficits, and a relentless uphill climb. Yet it is often this very individual who harness their hardship, who transform every obstacle into the launching pad and every no into a next opportunity. Their advantage become the very force in their strength, ingenuity, and unique perspective are hammered out. Your experience, every single one, both good and bad, easy and hard, are not just events. They are a profound tools. The challenge you face have not diminished you. They have endowed you with unshakable resilience. The rejection you've endured have not weakened you. They have forged an inner fortitude, making you stronger and more discerning. The failure you navigate not mark you. They have an inscribable lesson onto your soul that no effortless success ever could. This is a privilege. The privilege of hard-earned wisdom. The privilege of a deep-rooted perspective. The privilege of exponential growth. The privilege of becoming someone who doesn't passively wait for opportunities to appear, but actively, boldly, and creatively generates them from the raw material of their own life. So, as you leave this hall today, I urge you to shift your internal dialogue. Let us stop asking the disempowering questions. Why don't I have the privilege that others seems to possess? This question keep us trapped in a comparison and victimhood. Instead, let us embrace the transformative questions. How can I, my unique set of experience, with my struggle and my triumphs, turn this, my very life, into my potent privilege? Start by embracing every challenge as a teacher. See setbacks as a redirect. Vary every rejection as a change to refine your path. Understand the capacity for growth, the willingness to learn from every moment. It is the truest form of advantage. It is the real power that propels you forward. Because in the current tapestry of life, privilege is not static inheritance you simply wake up with. It is not a fixed asset you passively possess. Privilege is something you earn through relentless effort, through unwavering resilience, through the daily dedication to learning and evolving. It is something you work for dedications and learning and evolving by the day, shaping it with every choices, every challenge overcome, and every lesson absorbed, until you bring that hard-won strength and wisdom to sleep with you by the night. So let us together commit to create our own extraordinary privilege. So thank you. Maybe that's all from me. If I do some mistake, I do apologize. So thank you very much and bye bye.